Okay, guys, for reading and grammar this week, for reading, we're going to talk about point of view. So, point of view is talking about who is telling the story. So, some questions to think about. How does this impact the story? And how would the story be different if a narrator was telling the story? Okay, so the point of view, sometimes it's coming from a character, right? Sometimes a character is saying the story, or sometimes it is the author, okay? So, point of view, how does the story change based on who is telling it? Why is it different? So, if we have a character telling the story, it might be a little bit different, right? We just read this past week, we read the story of Claudette. And Claudette, the story was told by a narrator, right? It wasn't told by the character of Claudette, it was told by the narrator. Now, the story might be very different if Claudette was the one telling the story. We might hear some different things that happen. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to read this reading comprehension. I think I told you guys this last week, but some of us might not have heard this part before. But you are always welcome, and for my really good readers that have been really trying to be better at reading, I would like you to skip over this part that I read it to you, and you read it on your own, okay? Hi, my name is Leroy. I am in second grade and I live in Chicago, Illinois. After school, my mom has to work, so my big brother Danny is in charge. Danny thinks he is really cool because he is in high school, drives a car, and has a girlfriend. I think he is lame because he talks on the phone way too much, only makes burnt grilled cheeses, and has the smallest socks on the planet. He has taught me some cool video game tricks. So I guess he isn't all bad, okay? So who is telling the story? Is it the author? Is it the character? And if it is the character, what is the character's name? How do you think Danny feels about Leroy? And then this part right here, it says draw what Leroy doesn't like about Danny. So instead of drawing it, tell me one thing that Leroy doesn't like about Danny. For your grammar lessons this week, we're talking about different articles, okay? And the specific articles that we're talking about is a, an, and the. So I read a book called The Big Bed while holding an umbrella. So we use a before a consonant. So some consonants would be, if we're thinking about foundation, consonants would be all the letters that are our yellow letters, okay? We would use an before a vowel sound. So again, if we're thinking about foundations, our vowels are all of our pink letters. And we would use before a specific noun or group of nouns, okay? So here's some examples. The class, the street, the forest, the school, the lake for a dog, a bike, a pencil, and for an ant, an egg, and elephant. Excuse me. So to practice that, there's a word bank over here, okay? And there's some pictures. So what you're going to do, I'm going to show you with the first one, okay? This picture right here is an iguana, okay? So we have ball, egg, car, ant, pen, iguana, orange, and bag. So we have iguana right here. So we're going to type, you have to either use a or an before the word, okay? So with iguana, we know that it starts with a vowel. So if it starts with a vowel, we have to use the article an. An iguana, okay? And I type that in there, okay? So then you're going to fill in the rest of these with the words and the article in front of it. Again, if it's a consonant, that is the start of the word, like ball, it's going to start with a beforehand, a ball. If it is a vowel, like iguana, an I at the beginning, you have to use an before the word, okay? So you're going to fill in all those and type them in just like I did with that one. That is it for reading and grammar. Again, this week we're talking about articles, a, an, and the, and then point of view.